but he's listening.
Hi, we are going to ask you about your ability to play the piano and your focus more on creativity rather than technical stuff.
Well, you're putting me on the spot, but I'll start.
Yes.
Like, I maybe was 5 years old when we had the radio, no TV, nothing, too early. I would hear music, but then I would tune in just one note. This is the way I remembered. And we had a big player piano, which was all broken down, but every key was good. So I would just hear what I would zone in on, like a C or an E or an F or whatever, and it didn't mean anything to me except my ear. So I would search on the keyboard, or the piano at that time, until I found that sound. Then I would go da 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 over and over and over. And somebody told me where middle C was. So maybe I was 6, 7, I don't know. Maybe early 5, I don't know. They showed me where C, middle C was. So first I put a pencil on it, and then I decided to explore. So I took that C, the middle C, everybody knows middle C, and I went up to the next note, and then the next one. And I thought, well, that next note would go with the first C chord, C note. So that would have been a C and an E. So you go da 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 da. The two together, that's soprano and alto. So I kept adding notes, how they sounded to my ears. It was all the way the ears thought. And I would explore all the time new sounds, and sometimes a sound would just come to me away from the radio or away from the piano. And then I'd think, well, what is that one? And then I'd go over and go da 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 da. Sometimes I'd lose it because the other sounds were bigger, but sometimes I'd find it too. So then I started taking the C chord plus the E chord, and then go up to A, and then 3 notes together. And you go on up further and you get the octave, the low C and the top C. So, you just you're just fooling around. This has no sense, but you're enjoying it because it's your own game, okay? So then I just kept adding and multiplying what my ear heard. And so now I'm going into 5th grade, 4th grade, 6th grade, 7th, 8th grade. Not really getting anywhere on piano. They tried to give me lessons, but it was no way. So when I'm 8th grade, like that's about 13 years old, yeah, I was to a dance with my parents on New Year's Eve. And lo and behold, I heard my cousin, my dad's cousin, so she was not my generation, she was my parents' generation, and she was playing piano and it knocked me sideways. Her left hand was doing stride, so she was literally chording with her left hand, chords onto this. Let's use the C. We're going to do everything in C because C is your basic beginner's chord. I'm going to call it that because I did that way. Stay in your C chord. So mostly she was doing C chords too, but she had that swing, stride left hand where she was making chords to accompany the C chord in her right hand. And I thought, this is cool. How can I do this? Yeah, I could do it. And it took me a little while. It took me quite a while. But I did that. So then I was playing a lot of popular stuff, but not very good. But I wasn't going to quit. So in high school, I went with my friend who was older than me, a girl who was taking voice in the capital city of Des Moines, Iowa. She was taking voice from a lady who had been in the Metropolitan Opera. And so one day I said, "Can I go with you?" She said, "Sure." So on a Saturday, I went along with her. We went on the Greyhound into the city. And so then she had a grand piano in her parlor, and I played on that. And this great lady finally told my parents during a recital we had for our voices. I wasn't a good singer, but I did that. And she told my parents that she knew of a jazz pianist, a great jazz pianist, who also taught children by the use of crayons, colors. And he played all over the city and outside. He played for the universities. He gave, he was a great, what you call it? Oh, he could unveil his thoughts very beautifully. And so he would give directions or speeches to universities that were musicians, musical people. She said, "I think I can get her in there because he has a list a mile long, but I won't talk to him." And she did it, and I got in. So this man, he knew of, I don't know how well he knew the great musicians at that time in the 40s and early 50s would have been Earl Hines. He knew of Fats Waller. Who are they? Who are all these people in the 40s that were still alive then? Great, great musicians. Oh, I was taken. I was overwhelmed by it. And so we started, I remember, the first one was called, I think it was called Hands Across the Table. You know, just real simple ditty stuff. But it gradually, when I would hear him play, I would be in another world entirely. Because he had a stretch with his hands. He could reach 10 keys easily. And with his left, he could reach like an octave plus 3, 4, maybe 4, I don't know. His left hand was even bigger. And he taught me how to expand my left hand. So I now can reach 10 keys. 8 is an octave. But not with my right hand. My right hand carries the melody. So I don't know what else.
That's a great start. And we will have you sit at the piano for our next interview, and you will show us some tricks on the piano. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.